Is it wild to suggest that the Indianapolis Colts should stick with Joe Flacco over Anthony Richardson? While here at the Rational Football League show, we don't think that's such a crazy notion. I'm Mr. Ward, that's Brendan Ford, and I'm going to turn it right over to you, B, right here from the get-go. What do you think? Should the Colts stick with Flacco or go back to Richardson?
I'll make this as blunt as possible. Keep playing Joe Flacco. That's probably the entire video. Just play Joe Flacco.
That's not the actual entire video. We have more to discuss. Please don't leave. There's more to discuss here. I promise. We'll talk about more about Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. Please don't leave. Okay, yeah, please don't tell people to leave.
Please stay here, please. Okay, I said it twice. Please. Let me give you some rough numbers here. Okay. Again, this is kind of quote unquote box score looking. I'm looking at PFF, but it kind of tells the whole story for the most part here. Over I guess Joe Flacco has played 3 games, but he came in relief against, I don't remember exactly against who now, when Richardson got hurt. But anyways, Flacco played 2 full games. Over the course of those 2 full games, he thrown for 715 passing yards, completed 66% of his passes, thrown for 7 touchdowns and 1 pick. His overall offensive grade, according to PFF, 71.5, which is good for 15th right now. So 15th best offensive grade by PFF. 7-to-1 touchdown to pick ratio. It's great, right? Let's look at our buddy Anthony. Anthony's at, over the course of 4 total games, let's call it 3 because he got hurt in 1. 654 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 picks, 50% completion percentage. Best for 51.9 PFF offensive grade, which is 33rd best out of all qualifying quarterbacks. So if you are a head coach, okay, and your GM comes down to you, hey, Richardson's healthy again, who do you think you're starting? How in the hell are you going to say not Joe Flacco after just reading those basic stats? He almost won another game against the Jags. They scored 24 points in the 4th quarter. This will happen. Their defense also sucks. Otherwise, they would have won. And they won last week, too, against the Titans. So how can you not say Joe Flacco?
Yeah, I agree with you. He's keeping the season alive. It's clear, not just based on the numbers. Again, if we've got about 30 years of experience combined here watching the game, playing the game, coaching the game, all around it, that Flacco has a better command of this offense than Anthony Richardson does. And I know this last week against the Titans, it looked rough at times, but to be fair to Joe Flacco and the Colts here, the Titans are trying to battle for their season at this point. They're throwing out the kitchen sink to try to make this thing work. So I don't necessarily blame that for not working, 100% looking at it, he already has. But he turned it on in the second half. He figured it out. They came out with a win. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters, is that you came out with the win. It's obviously the 16, 15-year vet's going to look a whole lot better than the raw quarterback who had, I think, 12 college starts, and now I think he's made it through 8 games in the NFL. And this opens a whole conversation about Richardson. But I think if you're trying to win right now, which I think the Colts are, you have to stick with Flacco. He gives you the better chance to win. He has better command of the offense. He's able to get more out of Pittman. He's able to get more out of Josh Downs. The team just seems to run better. The offense seems to run better through them, which in turn, complementary football helps the defense. They get a longer rest on the sidelines, which keeps them fresh, obviously, which makes them play better. So yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer, just like you kind of mentioned, alluded to, and the numbers back it up. You should be starting Flacco over Anthony Richardson. But obviously, this leads to the next logical question: is what does this mean for Anthony Richardson? Is he a bust? Do you move on from him? Well, what do you do with Anthony Richardson going forward?
Yeah, I'm over here looking stressed out because I really honestly don't know. It's just a tough, right? It's a really tough question because he's played, 7 games in 2 seasons so far?
Something like that, 7 games.
First 7 games. So, I admire the fact that, the coach offensive staff is leaning into his strengths, right? He's an athletic, mobile guy. You want to use that, put him in the run, design QB run plays, whatever. But he's injury prone so far, right? So you take that away, then what is he? Because we've seen him struggle doing basic quarterback stuff, right? He has a crazy arm. We've seen that video I think it was like the second week, or maybe, no, it was the first week against the Texans. We threw that 70-yard bomb or 60-yard bomb off his like back foot after like slipping. So he can do that, great. But what about like the 10-yard outs when you're throwing across the field, like you're on the right hash, throwing to the left side, sideline, right? That's the type of stuff that like he's struggling with right now. It's kind of the basic stuff for the most part. And that's what I don't know. Because like if you are the Colts, you just accept the fact that A, he's just not it right now with the few reps that he's gotten, or B, you tell yourself, hey, he hasn't really been healthy. Let's give him at least some time to get back this season, let him recover, and then let him play out his third season, and then decide, if something doesn't work out, then you don't pick up his fifth-year option, and then you think about future plans. But I think right now, my answer would be, if I am the coach GM, I'm kind of staying pat. I'm letting him get healthy. We have Joe Flacco there. Let him run the ship until I know he is 100% healthy, and then you have to throw him back out there potentially, because you have to see what is he, right? You have to get that actual answer. I think right now we have glimpses of what he is, but we need to see more data and see him get more reps, really have that concrete answer.
Yeah, and I'm going to combine this answer with kind of the next question as well. Is Anthony Richardson the long-term answer at quarterback? At this point, I don't know. Gun to my head, hey, we got to make a decision right now. I would say no. And this is specifically why, because, on deep passes, he's completing 35.7% of his passes, which is deep. I'm categorizing here as anything beyond 20 yards, which isn't terrible. But here's the real problem we have with Anthony Richardson. In medium range, so to that 10 to 19 intermediate range, he's completing only 45% of his passes. Not great. Not great at all. But this is the scary part. This is the worst part of it all. In short, so 0 to 9 yards within the line of scrimmage, he is completing 63.3% of his passes. I grant me just a second here just to confirm and pull up some other numbers here just to see where he ranks. But on all quarterbacks this season, he looks like 40, where'd he go? 46th in completion percentage out of every quarterback that has thrown a pass this year. Quarterbacks that have thrown about 20 passes, he ranks, oh God, it's even lower. How is that possible? No, it can't be lower. He ranks 34th out of all starting quarterbacks this year. That's still, those are supposed to be gimme throws. I mean, that's supposed to be, your check down right in front of you, and you're hitting less than 65% of those passes. And to cap it off, just one more just for good measure here, behind the line of scrimmage, screens, swing passes, stuff like that, he ranks, where is he at here? Probably information I should have looked up before we actually hopped on camera, but that's okay. It makes it more fun this way, right?
It's a grand time.
I know. And I apologize. I know this probably isn't super exciting here. Oh, he doesn't even rank because he didn't throw enough passes. So that's great. But if we had to throw him up here, he would rank 32nd.
Can I throw out a number two?
Yeah.
This is where I get a little bit fearful about Anthony Richardson. Okay, we talk about all that stuff, like the short to the medium game, not really there. But when he does, throw the ball, he's putting the ball in harm's way. We already mentioned he has 6 picks so far. And he also has the highest turnover-worthy percentage stat out there right now with 7.7%. So 7.7% of his graded throws are turnover-worthy. That's worst. That's number one worst out of all qualifying quarterbacks. So you're struggling with the short game, and you're also putting the ball in harm's way. So again, how can you go back to him so fast? You know what I mean? Like, right. And again, so your whole question about the whole future and stuff.
I was just trying to say, so to me, this is the answer that I would roll with. I would give him the Jordan Love treatment. And I know that's not the answer that fans want to hear. It's not the fun answer. It's not the exciting answer because everyone wants to see their first-round quarterback play. But to me, Joe Flacco is good enough to get you to the playoffs. I mean, he did last year with the Browns. I don't think the Colts defense is quite that good, but he can at least get you probably to the playoffs, especially in a weak conference that plays with Jacksonville. In Tennessee, you can probably squeak in maybe as a wild card. But I think you let Anthony Richardson sit the rest of the season on the bench. I think you let him sit the rest of next season on the bench. Then going into that fourth year, then you turn him loose. You see what you got. You've got a year and a half of learning behind a savvy veteran guy. You should know the playbook at this point. You should be deep in the playbook. Everything should be kind of coming natural to you. He'll get a couple mop-up duty opportunities, blow opportunities, or if Flacco gets hurt for a game here or there, he gets to step in again. But give him that time to rest, really learn the playbook, learn the NFL, be able to, again, people always jump to, you have to play to learn. That's not necessarily true. Again, we've seen for years, Jordan Love's just the latest example of he didn't need to jump into the fire right away to learn. In fact, when he jumped into the fire at first, he looked terrible. People thought this guy can't play. He's a bust. All of a sudden, fast forward 2 more years to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, and now all of a sudden, generally, he's considered a top 15, top 10 quarterback. Patrick Mahomes sat for a year behind Alex Smith. You can learn a lot by sitting behind, taking those mental reps. And now they have the VR stuff that gives you a better chance to get live reps without actually having to be in a game. There are plenty of ways for you to learn and develop without actually having to step on the field and make mistakes. So, B, what's your answer for what do you think is the long-term answer for the Colts at quarterback?
I agree. I think you have to do that, especially if you're Chris Ballard right now, GM for the Colts. I mean, I don't want to say he's on his last leg, but how many swings at the quarterback spot can you really get? You know what I mean? You took your guy top 5 last year, or I guess 2 years ago, I guess technically, with AR-15, but now how you gonna make your case to the owner and just be like, yeah, give me one more crack at it? You know what I mean? Yeah. You took that guy, and not I don't know. You have to try to make this thing work if you're Chris Ballard. Because again, you're kind of performing for your job right now. As a GM, you don't get too many whacks at it.
This isn't his first whack at it. You gotta remember, he already took a chance on Phillip Rivers. He took a chance on Matt Ryan. Now he's taking a chance on Anthony Richardson. It's realistically his third whack at this thing to try to figure out the quarterback problem in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and let's not pretend. I remember stories leading up to that draft, of the 2023 draft, and he was like, "No, we're gonna sit back." He was acting all coy. We don't need to trade up for Bryce Young or CJ. We're gonna stay here. He was being a little bit smoke and mirrors. And then after he's like, "Yeah, I like this pick. I got my guy. That's why we stayed there." I think they picked 4th. Yeah. He's like, "That's why I stayed there." Blah blah blah. So he handpicked him in a way. They could have did something to potentially move up the top 3 to get a different quarterback, maybe. If I see, it probably wouldn't have happened because there's really QB needy teams. But still, he was very confident, at least public facing as he should be, about that pick. So that tells me his chips are in. This is everyone was saying, to your point, you need to stop taking these veteran guys off the market. Get a homegrown guy in there, and Anthony is his homegrown choice. It is.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if this pick can still work out. To me, the biggest concern. There's a lot of things mental reps. You can learn stuff, right? Learning the playbook, learning how to read defenses. You can get those turnover-worthy plays down. That can come with experience. To me, the bigger concern is and always has been with Anthony Richardson is the accuracy. That's not something that just miraculously improves over time. But maybe as he gets more comfortable, maybe better getting your feet set, consistent mechanics, so on and so forth. It goes to the quarterback position. Maybe you can improve it slightly. Maybe it's really is a matter of him seeing things a little bit better and getting the ball into a more delivered spot. But we'll have to see about that. But for you, I'm not completely out on Anthony Richardson, but I just don't think you can keep running him out there. Not only for the fact that it doesn't look good when he plays, but he can't stay healthy. He's gone through 8 games. In 2 seasons, he's made it through about 4 games each. So you need to find something, and you obviously can't keep running him. While he is big, obviously he's not durable. So you need to find a better solution where he can stay in the pocket and play quarterback. And if that means he has to sit on the bench to learn how to read defenses and learn to, get to his checkdowns, find his hot routes on blitzes, so on and so forth, that's what you got to do.